The second button literally makes or breaks the shirt. Look at it. It's too high.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst first seasons of TV shows.
That was a woman I was talking to. So, she had a very low voice.
For this list, we'll be looking at the shows whose debut seasons failed to live up to the legacy of the rest of the series. Which show do you think failed the hardest at its liftoff? Let us know in the comments down below. Number 10, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
And our mortgage is due in 2 weeks.
No, we paid that like a week ago.
No, a week ago was 3 weeks late, Matt.
The It's Always Sunny gang has been up to their hilarious, deplorable actions for about 2 decades. But their first season is surprisingly timid compared to their later antics. The characters don't go all in with their selfish habits just yet. As a result, the episodes aren't as daring and uninhibited with their comedy.
No, that's not what I meant. Hold on a second. I meant that you two actually are.
Mac, stop talking.
The more anthological format doesn't tie things together well either. And most importantly, the most gaping hole here is the absence of Danny DeVito's Frank Reynolds. He sadly doesn't come in blasting until season 2. While the first season sets a great platform for It's Always Sunny to build on, it definitely isn't the best showcase of the game.
So I tell you that I have cancer, right? Then you're gonna tell her, she's gonna feel sorry for me, we're gonna start dating, and that's the way that life works!
That's a horrible thing to do!
Well, I'm a bad guy then.
You are a bad guy!
Number 9, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But now we know they're among us. Heroes and monsters.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was the first live-action show set in the world of the MCU. Unfortunately, that potential strength turned into a weakness. The first season of the superhero show was bogged down by ties with the films. Although the show clearly wanted to expand the universe with original stories, it was forced to incorporate the events of the movies into its show.
I know that Agent Coulson was killed in action before the battle in New York.
Ironically, everything vastly improved after Winter Soldier revealed Hydra was inside of S.H.I.E.L.D. The devastating reveal caused the main characters, and by extension, the show to make big changes to the weekly formula. Thankfully, fans embraced the much improved program from season 2 onwards.
So, where would you like to start?
Number 8, American Dad.
Francine, you be very careful out there today. We're at Terror Alert Orange, which means something might go down somewhere in some way at some point in time. So look sharp.
Fans of the series associate American Dad with its surreal approach to humor, but the debut season is mainly about gross-out comedy. Building on the success of Family Guy, American Dad initially became more of the same. The first season has similar cutaway gags and cringe humor that leaves little to separate the two shows.
Hey, listen, Mom, Dad, can I have a dog?
Absolutely not. It's enough that we've got an alien and a goldfish with the brain of a German guy.
Oh, Francine, I can see your Schmutzplätzchen.
It also sticks every character with a stereotypical personality. That flaw led to formulaic episodes where it's easy to predict the jokes before they're delivered. With just 7 episodes in the season, the opening seems to be more experimental rather than a representation of the comedy that American Dad excels at today.
Look, it's Ariel. Hey, Jackson, you ever do it with a dead mermaid?
Mermaid? No.
Number 7, Doctor Who.
Who are you?
Told you, the doctor.
Yeah, but Doctor what?
Just the doctor.
The Doctor.
Hello.
After over a decade in hiatus, the Doctor Who revival did a good job at reeling in new and old fans. The 9th Doctor and Rose Tyler's adventures brought viewers up to speed with the universe's lore. However, it paled in comparison to following seasons that had more episodic arcs and running themes. The 9th Doctor's Soul season feels sorely lacking in both areas.
You could stay here, fill your life with work and food and sleep, or you could go, anywhere.
Additionally, it doesn't really land on a proper tone either. It goes back and forth between comedy and seriousness almost at random. There's quite a strange contrast between things like scary Daleks and farting aliens. Overall, The show's revival is mainly a reintroduction to the Doctor that doesn't have as much depth in terms of storytelling or character quality.
Excuse me, do you mind not farting while I'm saving the world?
Would you rather silent but deadly?
Number 6, Legends of Tomorrow.
Vandal Savage, an evil dictator blessed with immortality. He has achieved what no one in human history ever has. He has conquered the entire planet.
In the first episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow, heroes and villains from different Arrowverse shows were asked to join a team that would travel across time to stop a big bad. This sounded like a setup for a fun and wild ride through different time periods. However, the show's first season go for a melodramatic approach instead.
The last thing that my child saw in this world was that monster's face. You can be damn well sure that when Savage dies, the last face he sees will be mine.
All the ingredients from an engaging story are hitting under a mountain of filler episodes and forced conflicts within the group. It didn't help that dull characters like Hawkgirl and Hawkman hog the spotlight. Fortunately, the Legends got much more fun and goofier after this point. The tone becomes so much lighter that it's hard to believe the first bunch of episodes came from the same show.
So basically, we're hiding out in the Old West and hoping your boogeymen don't find us here.
Number 5, Seinfeld.
Good. Did you have fun? You have no idea what you're talking about. Now, come on, come with me. I gotta go get my stuff out of the dryer anyway.
I'm not gonna watch you do laundry.
Oh, come on, be a come-with guy.
It's hard to imagine Seinfeld ever struggling, but the show about nothing had a hard time when it started. Jerry isn't very sarcastic, George isn't a neurotic loser, Elaine isn't really part of the group, and Kramer knocks before entering Jerry's apartment.
Yeah. You up? Yeah. People do move. Have you ever seen the big trucks out on the street? Yeah, no problem.
The series became popular for putting quirky characters in hilariously mundane situations like waiting at a restaurant. Unfortunately, the first season sees Jerry as an everyman whose friends aren't the wacky and eccentric people they eventually became. With jokes that are more awkward than funny, the season is saddled with genre cliches. Larry David's creative, no hugging, no learning approach from the second season finally elevated Seinfeld to its now legendary status.
Terrific.
No, we just met.
Doesn't matter. What's the young man's name? I would like to meet him.
Number 4, The Simpsons.
All right, children, let me have those letters. I'll send them to Santa's workshop at the North Pole.
Oh, please. There's only one fat guy that brings us presents, and his name ain't Santa.
When you think of The Simpsons, you think of an ensemble cast with distinct personalities and roles to play. But in the first season, it's pretty much all about Bart and his various pranks. Although other family members appear in each episode, they're just there to witness Bart's latest antics.
Well, Bart, I hope you're going straight to the principal about this.
I guess I could do that.
What? And violate the code of the schoolyard? I'd rather Bart die.
Homer, who fans know as a bumbling but loving father, comes across more mean-spirited than anything else. Sure, it's still funny, but its flaws are hard to overlook. The bigger problem is the animation. Most of the character models are clunky. On top of that, the sound quality just isn't as good. This animated sitcom luckily found its spark once the animation evolved and everyone received equal importance.
I said you're gonna watch this tape, and you're gonna do what I say, or I'm gonna do something to you.
And I don't know what that is, because everybody has always done what I say.
Number 3, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
The Next Generation lasted twice as long as the flagship series and arguably gained greater acclaim. However, Jean-Luc Picard and his crew weren't at their best when the series began. The first season felt like a retread from stories Captain Kirk's gang went through. This wasn't bad if you were unfamiliar with the original show, but for long-term fans, it was more of the same.
Thou art notified that thy kind hath infiltrated the galaxy too far already. Thou art directed to return to thine own solar system immediately.
Picard himself wasn't the most sympathetic or likable in the first season. The addition of controversial episodes that haven't aged well also killed most of its replay value. The second season picked up the slack by fleshing out the characters much better. That trend thankfully continued until the end of the show's run.
I speak for Lutan. The rules are known. Let combat continue until there is a victor. It will not be interrupted.
Number 2, The Office.
What? Nothing. Okay, all right. See you later. All right.
This popular comedy series definitely suffered from an identity crisis in its debut. The American version of The Office doesn't stray too far from Ricky Gervais's original. In a short time, it became clear that the goodwill of the program just wouldn't be enough. While flashes of brilliance are present, the show wasn't as riotously funny or quirky as it got.
I think that pretty much sums it up. I found it at Spencer Gifts.
Additionally, Steve Carell's Michael Scott gained criticism for being a lackluster representation of Gervais's David Brent. Everything picked up in the 6th and last episode of the season when the actors were given control over their characters. However, that great outing wasn't enough to make the first season at Dunder Mifflin the people person paper company we've grown to love.
Ooh, Oscar the Grouch. Right? I thought of that.
Yeah. That was on Sesame Street.
I know. I made the connection.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Parks and Recreation.
Hello. Hi. My name is Leslie Knope, and I work for the Parks and Recreation Department. Can I ask you a few questions?
It's easy to tell that this show was originally designed as an Office spinoff. Originally, the show leaned heavily on a mockumentary style and really awkward comedy. But since it lacked the huge roster and relatively recognizable names The Office had, it was a harder sell. Leslie Knope and her crew also came off as a bit flat.
My ride's gonna be a big one, and if you get motion sickness, put your head between your knees, because Leslie Knope's stopping for no one.
In the second season, a cast shuffle allowed for the addition of strong characters like Ben and Chris. Leslie also got more confident and much quirkier. But best of all, the show found a sweet balance between silly comedy and true sincerity. Fans should rewatch the first season, only to notice the many improvements the show made to its Parks and Rec department.
Okay, so everybody's here. Let's get started. Ow. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Metal. Sorry.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.